Hi, welcome to the HTML tutorial. This tutorial is related to the forms. Till now we have seen how to put the lists, tables and the frames in our web page, but today we are going to see how to put the forms. Forms are basically used to take the input from the user or like display the output to the user. You basically involve the labels, text boxes, buttons, radio boxes, check boxes, these controls on the web pages using the forms. So forms are basically used to pass the data from the UI to the server, and they can be used to make the feedback forms or the sign up forms, the registration forms, like that. Your form tag is used to show the forms on the web page. After that, for the forms tag you have some attributes like name, action, autocomplete, method, target. Basically name, it's like specifies the name of the form. Action, we give the URL as the value over here. It specifies the URL where the data of the form should be sent when the form is submitted. Like in each and every form, like the registration form or the feedback form, there will be a submit button which will take the data of that particular form to another place. So we mention the URL over here where the data is to be taken. Another thing, for the autocomplete, we specify two values, yes or no. It specifies whether the form should have autocomplete option or not. The method, this is one of the most important attributes of the form tag. Basically the two values are there, the get and the post, which specifies the HTTP method which is used when sending the data. This I'll discuss in detail when we do the demo. Another thing, you have the target. Target attribute will have the 4 to 5 values, the separate values. Like one will be the blank, that means response will be displayed in a new window or a new tab. The self attribute, this is the default one, that means the web page, the form, it will be displayed in the same window. Another thing, you have the parent, then response will be displayed in the parent window, and the top, it is response will be displayed in the full body. The frame name, it's like you have seen the frame set tutorials, so you will give the name of the frame over here in which you want your response to be displayed. So let's see an example of the forms. I have created a structure for the HTML page, so I'll put a form tag in this. So basically it is the opening and the closing tags of the form. So over here you put the input elements. Input elements is like they are used to select the input from the user. Like you want to display the text box or the password box, radio button, check boxes, submit buttons, etc. Basically the type attribute of the input tag is used to specify which type of input field will be displayed. Like for example, you want to display a text box, so over here what you will write, input, and then in the type attribute of the input tag you can mention over here, you mention it as text for the text box, and that we usually give the name over here. And like if you put the text box, then the naming convention can be txt, which will represent the text box. After that you can give the name over here, like if you want to take the user from the input from the user as the name. And over here your br tag I can write as the name. Then just copy paste for the address. I am taking the same example that is there in the PPT. So another thing, your address will be the text box, and you can change the name over here. Basically we write the names because we want to refer it to the other places. Like you want to do some manipulation on the text, on the address field or on the name field. Like you want to take the values from these text boxes and you want to place it into the server. So for that you give the name so that you can process the values on these text boxes. So let's see the demo for it. So now you can see the name that you have written over here, the normal text, and then this will be the input type. This is the text box, and this is for the address. So now over here you can write Lily over here, and the address is, you can write as America. So these are the text boxes that you can put over here. You can include multiple text boxes. By default the length is the 20 characters, but you can also specify the max length attribute. You can use the max length attribute, which is specify the maximum number of characters that can be written in a text box. Supposingly you don't want user to enter more than 6 characters, so you can set the value as, over here in the name you can set max length as 6. So just save it and refresh it. So you can enter as EF, and then you, whatever you type, you cannot enter the values over here because the max length of this particular text box is the 6 characters. So by default it is 20 characters, but you can also change the length of the text box. So after that you have the password field. That supposingly you want the user to set the password, and for the password you you do not want someone to see your password. So what you do, you put the bullet points over there. So for the type, you, instead of giving the text, you give the password over here, and you can also change the name as the password. When you just save it and you click on refresh, you get the password text box. It is a text box, but it is type password. So whatever you write over here, you write it will be displayed in the bullet points. That means you will not be able to see what is written in this particular text box. After that you have the radio button. We'll discuss the radio buttons in the next tutorials because they are kind of a lengthy thing. Thanks and have a nice day.